Thanks for joining us for CBN's On the Home Front, where we highlight what the men and women of America's military do to defend our country. I'm Mark Martin. Conflict in the Middle East is exploding after President Donald Trump ordered U.S. forces out of northern Syria. Some say that's effectively abandoning America's allies on the battlefield in the fight against ISIS. Thousands have been displaced and many Kurds have been killed. The fast deteriorating situation was set in motion when Trump ordered American troops in northern Syria to step aside. That cleared the way for an attack by Turkey. Reports say mass atrocities are being committed against the Kurdish people at the hands of Turkish-backed militias, including some ex-Al-Qaeda fighters, a move that's leaving a trail of displacement, destruction, and death. The UN estimates at least 130,000 people have been displaced by the fighting and hundreds have been killed. Syria's Kurds say Syrian government forces agree to help them fend off Turkey's invasion, a major shift in alliances. The shift could lead to more clashes as the world anticipates the chances of ISIS resurging. Many at home and abroad call the president's actions a betrayal of an ally.
Leaving an ally behind, abandoning people that we frankly told that we were going to be with is disheartening, depressing. Frankly, it's weak.
Just weeks ago, coalition forces were still at work in Syria to provide security and stability to prevent ISIS's resurgence. Service members trained partner forces with a live stress fire range over the summer. The rigorous training event subjects the trainees to strenuous conditions like heat, physical exhaustion, and time limits to simulate the stress of real combat. Let's take a look. The presence of U.S. troops, however, is still heavy in the Middle East. The Jordan Operational Engagement Program is the most extensive training program funded by the U.S. Department of Defense. The program focuses on border security, partnership building, and enhancing the Jordan Armed Forces capability to defend their borders against ISIS and other violent extremist threats.
I'm the squadron commander for the 1st Squadron, 18th Cavalry Regiment. Our mission here is to conduct the Jordan Operational Engagement Program, which is a partnership between the United States and the Jordanian Armed Forces for units that are deploying up to the border within the Jordanian Armed Forces. The significance of the Jordanian Operational Engagement Program is it's an opportunity for the U.S. military to partner with Jordanian Armed Forces for units that are tasked with defending the country of Jordan. They come here to the Joint Training Center where we work with them over the course of 10 weeks to improve their skills from individual soldier tasks all the way up through company-level collective tasks, along with a myriad of specialty skills such as mortars, forward observers, medics, and snipers. All of those skills are brought together to help improve the capability that are needed to defend against the hostile threats that are posed along both the Syrian and the Iraqi border against the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. The 10 weeks here at JTC is actually a 3-phase program. The first phase is individual through team level training, which is about 3 to 4 weeks in length. And then based upon their performance, we move into squad and platoon level training for another 3 to 4 weeks, which is our phase 2. And then in phase 3, we bring it all together where we bring back the specialty skills that have been trained during those first 6 to 8 weeks, integrate them into company level exercises where we do a series of scenarios-based exercises, and then we culminate with a company level live fire where they bring all of those assets together in a scenario that replicates what they may face when they redeploy back to the border. The relationship that we developed with the Jordanians was one of actual brotherhood. It started off as just being comrades in arms, but as we worked with them day in and day out, through the hot, through the cold, through the rain, through the dusty days, we actually became to know each other better. Not only did we do individual movement techniques or did we do range exercises with them, but we would also sit and have meals with them They'd even show us a few of their dances and a few of their chants, and so our soldiers actually built a close bond despite the language barrier. Along the way, we've learned a lot about their culture, learned a lot about them, and have built tight relationships and friendships that I think are going to last a lifetime.
Over the past 3 decades, our adversaries have studied how the United States and its allies organize, train, and equip their forces. The Air Force aims to win the great power competition through several new innovations. This video launched the State of the Force Call for Change presentation by Acting Secretary Matthew Donovan at 2019's Air Force Association's Air, Space, and Cyber Conference.
We're in a competition. We're leaving the period of the department's history where we've been focusing solely on violent extremists.
State competition has returned.
They're doing things.
China has had a strong presence in Africa for years.
Vladimir Putin testing a new intercontinental missile.
And it's warning about Iran.
Locked in a bitter standoff over the now scrapped nuclear deal.
And so if conflict in the future is going to be trans-regional, that's going to extend beyond the current combatant commander boundaries and maps.
How do we have the right policies and the right directives, leveraging the right acquisition authorities, and unleash this talent at the hard problems that our Air Force and our nation faces today?
Over the past 3 decades, our adversaries have studied how the United States and its allies
organize, train, and equip our forces.
It won't be tanks, planes, and ships that are the central differentiator in tomorrow's conflict. That conflict's going to be data-centric.
They've learned how we fight, and they've invested heavily in adaptive technologies
designed to exploit our vulnerabilities.
AI.
Yep.
Talk to me, is scary?
Artificial intelligence has capability to significantly speed our OODA loops, tactical, operational, and strategic.
And so we have to adopt these commercial development tools. Force us to change our approach to how we would then do acquisition.
Drive a consistent demand signal to our industry teammates. Does what you're offering connect across the network? Air, land, space, sea, and cyber operations occurring simultaneously to achieve objectives.
In the early days of the Cold War, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik. And
space contributions continue to expand.
We must move fast, and we must be bold in fielding space warfighting capabilities.
We must prepare to protect our interests.
We are the best in the world in space. With the establishment of U.S. Space Command, we're even better.
We're going to have to be able to keep building, keep upgrading, keep sustaining faster than any adversary we have.
An incredible choreography all coming together.
Get back to our roots as being a rapid builder and fielder of things.
As members of the DoD,
of the Department of the Air Force,
we must be ready for the great power competition.
As a fully networked force in a data-dense environment and a digital age.
with the National Defense Strategy
and efforts of our airmen.
And I'm seeing that creativity across the Air Force.
We will compete, deter,
and win.
After the break, a look at day-to-day life for those working on the ground and in the air to ensure our freedom.
Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep as the world watches from the outside.
It's a big diplomatic tug of war here in the Middle East.
Go inside the story with Jerusalem Dateline.
Israeli archaeologists are talking about a discovery that could change the thinking about the Temple Mount.
Join CBN Jerusalem Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell and get the biblical perspective on the events shaping the world.
What starts in Israel then ends up going to other places.
Watch Jerusalem Dateline, Friday night at 9:30 on the CBN News Channel.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Too often, we carry baggage from our past. You know what it's like. It affects everything and everyone in our lives. It's always there, weighing us down and keeping us from achieving true happiness. But do you know God never meant for us to be trapped in the past? You can be free of your baggage. Learn how God's forgiveness leads to changed lives and new beginnings. Call the 700 Club.
I'm Ephraim Graham, and this is Studio 5. Cruise with me as I discover the good things happening in the world of music, sports, television, and movies.
The fact that Ryan Coogler was going to be directing the film, I knew that something special was going to happen.
We'll chat with artists at the forefront of entertainment and explore the connection between popular culture and faith.
I asked my pastor, I said, well, does that mean I'm supposed to be a preacher? He says, well, no, you already have a pulpit.
Watch Studio 5 Wednesday night at 9:30.
Welcome back to On the Home Front. Last year, the Defense Department launched a new initiative called This Is Your Military to highlight the work of service members. The initiative also has the goal of debunking myths about military service and increasing awareness among the American people. Using the hashtag #KnowYourMil, the DoD is sharing personal stories to inspire others. Being a mechanic in the military is tough work, and one corporal says the job does not come without challenges, especially during port operations for a recent exercise called the Atlantic Resolve.
I'm Corporal Terrence Taylor with 19 CAV 2nd Brigade Combat Team. We're here in Riga, Latvia to support Atlantic Resolve rotation. I'm a 91 Mike, that's a Bradley mechanic. We maintain Bradley fighting vehicles. My job, honestly, it's interesting because it puzzles your mind. One time we was doing an engine and we put the old starter relay back on and it shot. So we had to troubleshoot, backtrack, and figure out the starter relay. The diode on it was backwards, so that was a funny time. Troubleshooting, you have to go and figure out why that vehicle won't start. It could be the batteries, it could be that the vehicle doesn't have, gas. Like I was saying, the starter relay, stuff like that. You want to backtrack. You're basically crossing out stuff that could be wrong with it. We have to be efficient of getting those vehicles up on time so we can accomplish the mission.
While some mechanics work on the ground, others work to get planes in the air. For Senior Airman Phil Owens, his work as a crew chief in the Air Force helps hone his knowledge and skills for a career outside the military. Just 2 weeks after starting this, his first commercial flying job, he experienced catastrophic engine failure and had to perform an emergency off-airport landing.
I'm Phil Owens, and I fly aerial tours of Acadia National Park in Maine. And I serve. I'm a crew chief in the Virginia Air National Guard. I'm responsible for ensuring safe operations of all systems on the F-22 Raptor. The Guard is part-time, and that works well for me because I love flying this plane. So a tour pilot, we greet him at the front gate, we load him up in the plane, take him for a ride just around Bar Harbor, Maine, and around Acadia National Park here. This is my first commercial flying job. I joined the Air National Guard at 17, did drills throughout my senior year of high school. Then after tech school, I used my education benefits to get an aviation degree, as well as my commercial pilot's license.
He had seconds to make decisions, and they had to be good decisions.
Well, we're flying over here in Maine. You got a lot of water and a lot of national parks, so not too many good landing spots in the case of an engine failure, but was able to find a swamp or marsh. Kind of flared as much as I could to keep that airspeed low and So it wasn't too abrupt of an impact, but you definitely felt it in your seat there. The type of aircraft I fly here is a tailwheel or tail dragger. So the two wheels are up front. And so once those kind of finally set down in that marsh, the aircraft flipped over onto the top wing there. So after we flipped over, of course I unbuckled there and kind of checked on the passengers up front of me. There were 2 passengers that day. Looked at both of them and didn't see any blood or major injuries, and they both told me they were okay.
He had very little time in the biplane when this happened, and he was steady, he was cool. Couldn't have done a better job if he'd had to. He did a great job.
Kind of told the passengers to, hold on, and I'd get them down safely, and, grateful I did.
Patricia Miller, I am the bank.
Up next, how one Navy sailor and her multiple talents led her to additional success outside of the military.
On October 1st, 1961, history was made when a tiny station began transmitting the first signals of the Christian Broadcasting Network.
CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network.
And now, a new era has begun with the all-new CBN News Channel.
Just moments ago, the Iron Dome intercepted an incoming rocket right on the Gaza border.
And ministering in this area, spiritual warfare is definitely involved.
A 24/7 news network, bringing you the news you want from a source you can trust.
In Kenya, 40% of the medical services are actually provided by these Christian hospitals.
Let's talk about the economy.
Believers here are joining together to win people to Jesus Christ.
All your favorite shows now in one place. Go to CBNNewsChannel.com to find out how to get the CBN News Channel on your TV all day, every day. CBN News. Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Thanks for staying with On the Home Front. While rising through the ranks as a Navy culinary specialist, Petty Officer First Class Patricia Miller takes her talents outside of the kitchen and onto the stage. She began performing any place she could find, and one of her songs eventually made its way into rotation on the radio in Florida. Since then, she has released several songs on digital platforms and has written 8 manuscripts and dozens of poems. She shares her story on her success.
16 years, I'm still going strong.
In my 16 years since I've been in, there's been a lot of ups and downs as far as the military is concerned. went to my first ship, which was an aircraft carrier, the USS Theodore Roosevelt, CBN 71. And that was a great experience because when I got there, that's when I started singing the national anthem and anything that had to do with the uplifting of America type songs at all kinds of events. Well, now I'm here on board the Preble and I'm a whole leading petty officer. I'm up for chief, and it's just really been a mix of emotions, but mostly exciting ones. Born in Kansas City, Missouri, and raised in Kansas City, Kansas. I can remember my mother calling me into the living room from outside, and there was so many people packed in our house just for me to sing. You know, she's always very, very proud of me wanting to do new things and try to accomplish something, and she always kind of really babied my emotions for what I wanted to do. So it was always, yeah, you can do it. Go ahead, you know, push for it. I always had a cheerleading squad. After high school, I was reading the newspaper one day, and it just said travel, you know, meet new people, accelerate your life, join the Navy. And then I said, you know what? I just felt something in my heart. I just felt something, you know, and it kind of took me back to the kids in my neighborhood who didn't quite have a chance. And maybe if I joined, then I could meet people and help them have a chance, and then they could meet people and help them have a chance. I have a feeling that music is like a healer. You know, you can listen to a song and it can take you somewhere, no matter where you're feeling. It's almost like a medicine. It can help you. And so I write songs that come from my heart on the inside. And I truly believe that if someone listens to one of these songs, it could help whatever they're going through. I really aspire to have my music heard on large platforms. It's not so much about the financial part, but I really believe I can change a life with just one song.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after the break.
Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
I'm Ephraim Graham, and this is Studio 5. Cruise with me as I discover the good things happening in the world of music, sports, television, and movies.
The fact that Ryan Coogler was going to be directing the film, I knew that something special was going to happen.
We'll chat with artists at the forefront of entertainment and explore the connection between popular culture and faith.
I asked my pastor, I said, well, does that mean I'm supposed to be a preacher? He says, well, no, you already have a pulpit.
Watch Studio 5 Wednesday night at 9:30.
Remember for a moment what it was like to be a child. You believed every story you were told. You saw a world full of endless possibilities. What stories will the world's orphaned and at-risk children believe? We believe the Bible tells the only story truly worth believing. We believe that every child should have the opportunity to dream, the chance to take challenges and turn them into possibilities, the chance to stand on the promises of God, to recognize their place in the greatest story ever told. They have their whole lives ahead of them. Theirs is a world of endless possibilities. They are looking for a story to believe. We will tell them that story. Will you join us?
Are you suffering from feeling tired or worn out during the day? Can you not turn off your brain at night? You are not alone. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Bruce, the sleep doctor, and I've partnered with the Christian Broadcasting Network, and we're going to bring you some unbelievable information that you can use tonight to get a better night's rest.
Wake up to your best life. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com to get your free copy of Protect Your Sleep today.
From Washington, D.C., uncompromising stories, interviews, and analysis from veteran journalists David Brody.
Escalating fight.
Jenna Browder.
Chose his words carefully.
Ben Kennedy.
Plan to join him.
And Amber Strong.
For impeachment grows a little bit louder.
Bringing you the political news that matters.
We get out and tell the story of the progress that we're making in this country.
Watch Faith Nation, weeknights at 6 on the CBN News Channel.
Welcome back. While many service members spend decades inspiring those beneath them in the ranks, it does one day come to an end. One veteran continued his desire to inspire after his time serving the country by running marathons, but ended up finding inspiration of his own in an unsuspected way.
People always ask me what I want to be when I grow up. And other than alive, I never knew what to tell them. This good for you? Okay. Good for me. I fell into coaching. So it was a few years ago that I realized this is what I really like to do. I think I was 72. I'm almost 74 now. I've run 26 marathons, so, you know, there's a lot of things I guess you call I've achieved. I'm involved with the Charleston Running Club. Another friend of mine, also involved, called me up one night and said, tomorrow's race, would I mind pushing someone in a wheelchair? I remember being at the Boston Marathon in very early 1980, might have actually been 1980, and watching father and son, father pushing the son in a wheelchair, finishing the Boston Marathon. I get a chance to do something good for someone who might lead a more boring life, let's put it that way. The challenges really are for the family, and they seem to have met them head on.
Mr. Joe!
You ready? Once she's in her chair, it's I push and I run. And everything sort of melts away when I'm running with her. I think life is about joy. And if you slow down enough and you experience that kind of bonding, you will feel that joy. And I always joke with her, someday, Brooke, you're going to push me.
That's all for today, but you can find more of our exclusive news coverage at cbnnews.com. Hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.